try and keep over as much as I can.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rush Green for this evening's Premier League 2 game, a London derby. It's West Ham taking on Arsenal. I am Ollie Aldis. I'm joined with Mark Phillips to my left. It's becoming a regular occurrence, Mark.
It is indeed, it is indeed. It seems like only the other day, it was only the other day, 3 days ago. Yeah, Tuesday. Still wallowing in that victory against Manchester United.
Yep, they're beating a juggernaut of English football, and now they've got another one in front of them, this time in Arsenal. It's been a bit of speak from you about where they're really from in London. We thought, or I thought earlier, that it could even be a bit of an East London derby, but you specified exactly that West Ham are the East London side and London are supposedly the southeastern side.
Exactly. These are the, I have to add, it's not a Mark Phillips Cup final, but these are the only 2 professional teams I've actually worked for, having coached at Arsenal for 3 years before being headhunted by West Ham United.
Wow, so it really is a Mark Phillips derby right now, and of course it is a repeat of technically the FA Youth Cup final. Here is the lineup for your Hammers. In goal, number 1, Finn Herrick, of course. Josh Briggs comes into the side, making his first start since the Fulham defeat 3-0 in November. Ezra Myers, well, we can talk about him all day after his performance on Tuesday. Tyrone Akpata, the player that's had the most amount of caps, or appearances I should say, for West Ham. He starts of course with Caelan Casey, Louis Zhao, Sean Moore, Lewis Orford back into the side with Josh Ajala, Kamari Swire and Adieli. Substitutions: Aridas Golombekis is given a bit of a break, Mason Terry, Louis Brown, of course the ex-Arsenal player, Dan Rigg and Preston Fearon. As for the Gunners, Lucas Nygaard in goal with Braden Clark, Marcel Washington, Zayn Monlouis, Will Sweet, Jimmy Gower, Seb Ferdinand, Ismail Ulad Mahand, Kyan Edwards, Salah Ulad Mahand and Osman Kamara. Substitutions: Cameron Ismail, Kari Ranson, Louis Copley, Andre Harriman Anios and Ife Ibrahim. So looks like both sides have swapped around. Of course, Mark, it's rainy, it's cold, but hopefully we've got a good evening in store on the pitch.
Yeah, one of the things I will say about this stadium pitch at Rush Green, it does drain well. I mean, it's quite heavy rain, but I wouldn't think there's any fear of it, like, you know, the pitch cutting up or making it heavy.
Well, yeah, we've always praised it for looking like a carpet, and props to the ground staff there. This is probably the first time it's really been chucking it down at Rush Green from what I can remember this season. So of course a big game happened on Tuesday. The under-18s, they got the victory against Manchester United. What a game that was, of course, beating the Red Devils on penalties.
A fantastic game, and well played Manchester United as well. Got to be honest, 2 teams, you know, contrived to make a good game, and they put up a good performance as well.
I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, some familiar faces back for the under-21s. Orford's having a stint with the first team. Well, you'd hope it's not just a stint, you'd hope it actually is something that continues. Of course, who knows where he could end up, maybe playing senior football for perhaps another side and following the likes of Callum Marshall or George Earthy in the summer. But he's back in the side, and West Ham give away the first free kick of the game, and that is probably the earliest yellow card I've seen for a very long time.
I have to be honest and say I think the yellow card was justified. You know, he's come from behind, he's gone full throttle into the back of him, and it's also give the referee a chance to make his mark and say we'll have no more of that sort of stuff. And as I can't use the word bias because apparently people are playing bingo Mark Phillips, and I keep using the same word, and bias comes out, so that's probably one of the first ones. As you see that challenge again, it wasn't the best from Tyler. So now for 89 minutes he's got to be careful he doesn't get another one, because he's off the pitch.
Hasn't been sent off so far this season. Of course, Preston Fearon is on the bench. It's perhaps a bit too early to be going through who is on the bench to come on. But they've got some defending to do as it's struck from distance from Ulad Mahand, and then it's picked up by Edwards on that right-hand side. I'd love to know what other words are in the Mark Phillips bingo.
I think one is mentioning the wife. I keep mentioning the wife. Not allowed to mention the wife. She's another bingo to cross off. Being biased, West Ham biased, which I can't mention that. I can't mention the Youth Cup, but you mentioned it.
I did it for you.
So there's lots of bingo cards just being ripped up because I said you're not allowed to play Mark Phillips bingo.
What about the England over 60s?
You mentioned it, not me. I think it's on the card though. I think it's on the card.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the people participating in Mark Phillips bingo can show you their card, but also maybe keep it to themselves just to keep the joke going on.
I can't see a great difference in the physicality. If anything, we look the bigger side tonight, so hopefully we'll make first contact like we didn't the other day. We look the bigger team to me.
Felt quite a while before that corner was to be taken. Unable to beat its first man, really. I mean, it did go through Orford, but then it was cleared away, and it will be a goal kick for Finlay Herrick.
There's confidence there from Lou Orford doing a dummy on the edge of his 6-yard box from a corner, but we got away with it.
Perhaps intentional?
Definitely not.
And it doesn't matter, of course. He's enjoyed times. Have you been able to speak with Lewis Orford, of course, after his time playing for Graham Potter's first team in the last fortnight?
Yeah, I sat next to Lou the game we had at Dagenham in the International Cup. I was having a good long chat with him. Nothing phases Lou. He's a level-headed lad, and here he goes to win the tackle. No, he doesn't.
Well, the Arsenal player just beating him first time. Potter trying to clear it up. Already, Arsenal showing that they're willing to go to ground. Perhaps the number 9, Kion Edwards, in all fairness, is injured, but they're certainly vocal when they feel the referee hasn't made a decision that they thought was meant to be done.
I think Tyrone's really got to start staying on his feet. Let's have a look at it again. No, it's nothing. That was actually nothing. They just going for the ball. Might have slightly mistimed it, but there's nothing involved in that.
You think it warranted the reaction?
No, definitely not. But when someone's been booked, you won't blame the side. And obviously, from trying to get them another yellow and having the advantage of playing against 10 men.
I suppose in the Premier League now, it's probably always maybe been a thing, but especially in football recently, a lot of sides now will stay down just to make sure the ref has another chance to I suppose, go through his decision making.
Yeah, or even sort of encourage a bit of VAR.
Exactly. That's exactly the reason. Arsenal look very sharp to start with, passing the ball with good purpose. I think purpose is on the bingo as well. I can't remember. Well, it's no fun if you know. Here's Seb Ferdinand. Now Braden Clark, and it's all the way into the centre half, Zayn Monlouis. Of course, has played a lot of games, the number 4 for Arsenal, Zayn Monlouis. Someone who's having a good season as well for the young Gunners. He was at Reading senior side last season.
Actually played in the first team, did he?
Played at Reading senior last season for just one game.
Oh, right.
And had an England Youth International under 15 and under 17 age group. So he's someone that caught my eye when doing my research of the Arsenal under 21 side.
There is a small connection between Reading and Arsenal at academy level. Lee Heron is head of recruitment at Arsenal's academy, and he was academy manager at Reading for a while, so that might be the connection.
I suppose there's a lot of football club connections that can help player development by setting up negotiations. Ooh, just pulled wide from Jimmy Gower. Of course, mentioned before the game, you were familiar with his father, Jimmy Gower.
I think his dad's name's Mark Gower and played for Southend amongst other clubs, and I think he works in the game as an agent, I think now. No doubt he's probably Jimmy's agent.
Yeah, well, Arsenal have done the dominating of the ball so far. West Ham haven't really had a foothold in the game yet, albeit only been 6 minutes gone. It's close towards the goal mouth, headed away by Swire. Fed back in, but safe hands from Herrick to just collect that. Already his distribution, he's trying to eye the run of Ajala, and he's got him behind Monlouis here. This is promising from the man in form at the moment. He'll fire at a goal, but he tests the goalkeeper, Nygaard, who passes that assignment. First shot on goal, first shot on target. All coming from Herrick as well.
It was. They might have had all the possession and all the play, but we're actually the first one to have a shot on target. I was just thinking before Finn's distribution, his handling in such a wet night was nice and clean.
Another interesting stat this season, of course, Herrick has played every game in the Premier League 2. However, between the Arsenal goalkeepers who are registered for the under-21s, of which there are 5, there's actually been 12 appearances split between the 5 goalkeepers. Of course, Lucas Nygaard, the goalkeeper for Arsenal tonight, he's played the majority of those with 5 appearances out of course, well, 6 if you count today. But Herrick, of course, he's been the mainstay in that West Ham goal. What have you made of his season overall, now that we're getting into the second half of the campaign?
I think he's done really well, Finn. He's a good shot stopper. His distribution's good, as you just seen. He's a good talker, sets himself high standards. I think Finn's a really, really good goalkeeper. He's been here since he was a very young lad. No, I think Finn's exceptional. I mean, he's also on the bench tonight as Mason Terry, so he's always had to fight for his place. Good decision, linesman.
I suppose.
And there's been a lot of competition over the years between Finn and then Mason Terry and Christian Heggie, who's out on loan somewhere in Scotland, I think he was, and now he's gone somewhere else. I can't remember. But and that's probably why Arsenal's got 5 keepers, because the competition for places, just means you've got to be on your mettle and on your game if you're going to get games for the 21s.
Well, another goalkeeper at Arsenal's disposal is Tommy Setford, who isn't featuring today, but he was on the bench for Arsenal's trip in the Carabao Cup semi-final on Wednesday. So more exposure for the youth.
Who's the other keepers? Because I think one of them was on the bench again for the first team, and I'm going to mention it. He played in their Youth Cup winning. Can't remember the fella's name, but
they've got Brian Okonkwo, who's 19, so perhaps it could have been him, as the other two are 16 and 17.
I don't think it was him. I thought his name was Porter or something like that.
Okay. Beating his man. Here comes Swire as Moore makes a run into the box. Orford's there, but the other number 8 for Arsenal slides away the ball. That was Ismail Ulab-Mahand, who got there before Orford did. But when West Ham have had a chance to attack at Arsenal, they've certainly looked a threat.
Yeah, I think Cam should have been a bit more selfish there, if I'm honest. Centre forward, he's got beyond the first defender. I mean, he saw the pass. I'd have rather just drove into the box himself. What do you think I would like looking at there is that picture from West Ham? What am I enjoying there? Something I mentioned the other day.
The quick passing.
I'm enjoying that, but something else.
Ooh. The white shorts.
Good memory, and the white socks. That's how we should look. That's how we should look. White shorts, white socks.
How come it was blue the other day then?
I've no idea. They often change if the other team if they had white shorts and socks, but they didn't. I've no idea why they did that. No idea. There's certain rules that I'm not sure. Go on then.
Brilliant work from Adieli, who had a great first half in the under-18s game against Manchester United. Looks like he could have won a foul. Still has the ball. Here's Ajala. West Ham looking purposeful here around the penalty area. Swire. No ball in. And picked up by number 5, Caelan Casey. So, of course, no Junior Robinson down that right wing-back role. Josh Briggs, is he someone that can typically play that similar role to what Robinson plays?
I've never seen Josh play as a wing-back. He's more of a centre half. I mean, you obviously know that Junior's gone to Sutton on loan. He's gone to Sutton United for the rest of the season.
Oh, brilliant. Well, best of luck for Junior Robinson. That's a good move, of course. They're in the National League. Of course, West Ham played them this season in the National League Cup and won 2-0.
I think Junior had an exceptionally good game there, so maybe that one would be one of the reasons they've requested him to go there on loan.
He obviously played last season in the under-21s. In the meantime, here's Sean Moore looking to lob it over. Doesn't find the target, but he was in a good position.
Strange position from their keeper. He was inviting him to be lobbed, really. The keeper's sort of like on the edge of his box. If he made better contact there, it wouldn't have been that odd. Would have found himself 1-0 up. There's obviously a reason that the goalkeeper done that, and not being a goalkeeping coach or a goalkeeper myself, I won't know what it is.
And how's Ryan Battram at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's repairing himself well. He'll do everything that's asked of him. He'll be the ultimate professional. Everything that the strength and conditioning coaches and the physios ask of him, he'll be doing to the letter.
Of course, Josh Briggs playing in that right wing back role, it looks like. Do you think it's even a back three? I suppose he is playing, it looks to be now, as a right-sided defender in that back three, but he does like to go over towards that advanced full-back position.
He does. I've never seen him playing a right-back wing as long as I've known him. Although, again, playing the bingo, he did score a goal in the Youth Cup final at Arsenal when we won it.
In the 90th minute?
He did. In the 90th minute, come on and scored from a corner.
What a moment that would have been. I saw it the other day, and of course he's scoring in the 79th and 90th minute. That fourth and fifth goal would have been sublime.
And two, there they are playing together. It's Caleb Casey and Josh. So there's Caleb Nedge going to win here.
Sean Moore going up towards Will Sweet.
He gives you something different as a right wing back, Josh. He's going to, if any diags are coming his way defensively, he's got quite good physicality. Just that Junior's more like a right winger turned right wing back than the centre half going out there. You find things about players in different situations.
Of course, and his season hasn't really featured much. Has he had an injury so far this season?
Yeah, he did have an injury. I can't remember what it was. Nothing major, but he was definitely out for 4 or 5 weeks. He plays regularly for Northern Ireland's under 18s, and I think he's actually captained Northern Ireland before, sort of thing. So, you've got to be playing regular football all the time. Even the same for Lewis Alford, although he's been up with the first team, been on the bench, come on for 15-20 minutes here and there. You've got to be getting 90 minutes under your belt somewhere. That's why it's good to see Lou starting tonight, as well as Calum.
Of course, and West Ham do have a break this weekend, which can be good due to the injuries that the first team squad have, and just being able to come back in a week later gives them the time to really get some rest and recovery in before they go ahead for the second third of the season, really.
And I think with Graham Potter and his staff really getting a solid sort of 10 days coaching into him before the Brentford game, he can only can get his ideas across. This is how I want us to play. So the players will really bed it in, if you like.
Of course, Graham Potter is featuring on Ironworks on the West Ham YouTube channel. So do give that a listen or a watch to find out more about the new first team manager, of course. And he was here on Tuesday, which a lot of West Ham fans were enjoying the idea of when they saw it on social media, praising the fact that they've got a first team manager that goes to the academy games and watches this nucleus of young talent at his disposal, which was nice to see.
It was excellent to see, and during the time he was here, Ezra made that fantastic last-ditch tackle, which is going to do Ezra no harm or the academy no harm. So that's good.
And of of course, if you'd like to tune into that, it's out on Saturday at 10 a.m. You need to tune in to Graham Potter on Ironworks. Of course, if you haven't already, do like, comment and subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel. Bring you so much content like Ironworks and of course these live home Premier League 2 and Academy games. Next week, of course, West Ham host Blackburn Rovers. So far, both sides cancelling one another out. We've used that phrase before as a cliche. Perhaps someone out there who's playing Mark Phillips bingo may put that cross in the box, although it was myself who mentioned that, so maybe not.
I'm going to try and stay away from cliches tonight and just actually talk about the game. It's a hell of a pass, actually. It's a hell of a pass.
Lovely ball.
Oh, good liner, good liner. I think that could win the bingo. Good liner.
Just praising whatever official made the decision that went in the way of West Ham.
I actually wonder how Ezra and Emeka and Josh are going to get, they played 120 minutes of football on Tuesday, which is, it's quite taxing, so I hope they're going to last the 90 minutes okay.
So far, you can see Josh Ajala up against Zayn Monlui. Fair size difference, as there often is with Ajala and centre-backs. He's not the biggest of players who play number 9. Already he managed to get in behind and use his qualities of his pace to beat him on one occasion. Here he is dropping deep. So far he's proving a bit of a handful at times. He has done all season, but tonight especially.
He's not a centre forward who... Good ball, Lewis Alford. Go on, Josh.
Riggs just trying to chase down that Alford ball.
Back to Josh Ajala. He's not a centre forward who's, you'd call it a target man, or who goes and uses physicality. His movement's what he's about, and his quality on the ball and his finishing is what he's good at.
Ulab Mahand in space. You can just see him dropping into that pocket and feeding out to Ferdinand. He looks to take it on the outside, low delivery, which Luizao clears away, and you can see the wind really taking away the direction of that ball when it was up in the air. Ajala sees a chance to claim a second ball, which was touched down by Jimmy Gower. There he is to just spread it out to that left-hand side for Arsenal.
How old is Ferdinand for Arsenal?
He's only 19. 1 goal in 7 appearances, and he joined Arsenal at 13. Wanted a bit more context.
Yeah, again, he came on as sub, I think, in that Youth Cup final. If you remember the name, obviously, Ferdinand, quite a well-known name at West. Ooh, glad to give that the first one anyway.
Well, it looked like he threw himself to the ground there in that second time once he got the nudge in from the defender.
I think it's actually for handball. He gave it. It was handball.
Slight little shove to be fair, but maybe slightly exaggerated at the same time. Here's Swire.
This is a nice picture. Nice picture.
Briggs in that unfamiliar position of right wing back, but he's picked out Swire. He just can't quite keep it under his control. And now look at the room there is for Salah Ulab Mahand as he's up against Mayers. He'll be brimming with confidence as he keeps tabs on Ulab Mahand. Slight little tug of the shirt. Well, that was good ball retention there from Arsenal's number 10. Is there a reason why Mayers is playing this evening? Of course, we were surprised to see him in the starting lineup after having played 120 minutes on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, he's a robust sort of fellow, isn't he, Ezra? So he can keep going. He'll run all day if you like. As I said earlier, that last-ditch challenge has had 1.5 million views. I mean, he's become quite famous for it, but he won't take no notice. Just get on with it, do his job, work hard.
I suppose, of course, there would have been a handful of people who'd have cared watching, but specifically Graham Potter in the stands. That's the ultimate person to impress at this moment in time. Of course, as well as Loris Coggins and Mark Robson.
Yeah, I mean, and all the first team coaches. I mean, everyone was talking about that tackle. I mean, everyone, and people I know don't even support West Ham. I don't know how. I don't know nothing about social media. I haven't got a clue. but it got out there to even people. I do know 1 or 2 people who support other teams, which is weird. And even they were saying, I mean, my brother-in-law and my nephew, unfortunately, are Arsenal fans, and they got to see it. They're probably listening to me now. We're sitting in a bit deeply. I'd rather us get up the pitch a little bit. I'd rather us nick some yards, put some pressure on the ball. Up, up, up. Good technicians, Arsenal, to be fair.
Definitely.
Move the ball well, good tackle.
Just like their first team, really. It's what they've always had in their DNA in recent years. That's a good strike on target, but Herrick is there. Just collect the effort from Salah Ulab Mahand. Of course, there are two Ulab Mahands on the pitch today. The number 8 Ismail and the number 10 Salah, who obviously just struck that effort there at Herrick. Both are brothers.
People are definitely testing you. There was two with the same name on Tuesday. Go on, Cam, get there, get there.
Of course. Swire getting the better of Monlouis. Slightly behind the runners of Orford and Ajala, but it's still in West Ham territory. Orford. Pata. They just pass it around the back, play it safe. Adiele. Manchester United were liking to test Adiele on Tuesday, you could tell. They'll probably do the same for Tyron Akpata, given the fact that he was given an early yellow card just seconds after the kickoff.
That's twice now Cam's actually got in behind them and sort of looked to pass, where sometimes as a centre forward he might have been a little bit selfish.
Orford just keeping things tick. Here's Myers. Swire.
It's a byline, Cam. Go on.
Tricky feet. Cleared away by the number 2, Braden Clark. Only 17 years old, their fullback today, the right back, Braden Clark.
That's impressive. They must rate if he's that age and they're playing him up in the 21s. Must have a liking for him.
It's his third app at for the under-21s, formerly of Wolverhampton Wanderers and Newcastle. He's a Welsh youth prospect as well.
I hope he's got a youth rail car. He's done some travelling there, the fella, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, I think he now qualifies. Oh no, it's just under the 18 to 25 rail card. But here they come. It's been entertaining at points. Both teams showcasing their abilities. It's a corner.
Very end to end. A bit different from the game the game last week against Stoke and the game before that, both 1-0s when it was really tight. This game has had a lot of space out there to play into. I wouldn't say there's a plethora of chances. Good word, that plethora. I don't know where that comes from. That's not.
That's certainly not on the bingo card.
I haven't got a clue what it means. But
many.
You do. Boy, that's called banter. Dressing room banter. You've probably never been in the dressing room.
No,
but that's dressing room banter. I'm only joking.
No, you can pass it on to me though, Mark. Don't worry, you're giving me lessons. Curled in, outswinger, and it's struck, but it hits his colleague, who's in an offside position, and the assistant referee raises his hand.
He done us a favour there, the colleague. He stopped the ball and got himself offside. It was goal banned for me, it looked like, didn't it?
It was enough for West Ham that he blocked it, but even more so that he was in an offside position. And look at that pressure from Ulab Mahand. Like Pata, you could see the idea, and it was well worked. Ajala's there to support, and now Briggs. Orford. So far, Arsenal are managing to get players in good pockets of room in that second third.
Yeah, they are. But we do look dangerous when we get into their final third. So
here's Will Sweet. He's forced to play it back to Nygaard. The frustrations from Arsenal after they gave it away. Here's Akpata finding or trying to find Swire, but Braden Clark was in his way. Now Seb Ferdinand. You can hear Max Porter and his coaching staff down on this right hand side just below us, very vocal.
I think West Ham's position is we've gone high at the back now. We're quite near the halfway line. We're saying to Arsenal, if you want to put it in behind us, put it in behind us.
Of course, because originally you were saying how they've dropped deep, and now probably just a tactical switch that Mark Robson was noticing that West Ham were looking quite fragile in, or maybe not fragile, but not as offensive with that lower block.
Or maybe Calum and Lewis Howe and Ezra have thought it themselves and said we'll push up to the halfway line and squeeze the play. I did see Robbo was shouting out some advice to Ezra, so maybe it has come from Mark.
West Ham looking robust so far, not allowing Arsenal a chance during this pattern of play, but they try to pick out something down this right. Of course, West Ham currently reside in 5th on 24 points, Arsenal down in 13th on 19. So 8 places are separated by just 5 points, and of course Arsenal 4 places and 4 points into the playoffs. They were actually top of the Premier League 2 back in September. They started the season off terrifically well, 4 wins in 4, not as well as the Hammers, I must say, having won 5 of their first 5, but I remember in that Chelsea game when they won 3-2, it was Arsenal who were just below West Ham, and now they've obviously trickled off a little bit.
I wonder if they had Miles, Skelly and Ethan playing for them, and they obviously subsequently gone up to the first team. I don't know, I'm just saying, you know, 2 individual players like that, you know, can make a hell of a difference.
And that, I think, is the point. Both players were playing at the beginning of the season. In fact, these two of West Ham and Arsenal met last season just once in the opening day. Arsenal won 3-0, Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly playing, and it was actually Lewis Skelly who scored the opener. Now here come West Ham looking for an opener of their own. Orford. Beautiful pass out to Adieli. He's up against Ferdinand, passes it low. Here's Swire, who does pull the trigger. On the rebound was Sean Moore. And West Ham get their first corner of the game.
Lewis Orford has just played 2 fantastic passes, one down the right, one down the left. Just shows you, the quality that he has got. If you give him time on the ball, Lewis pick passes out for you.
Well, he'll go over now to that far side to take this corner. Plenty of height on that, towards Luizao, who heads it down. Picked up by Akpata. Mayers will try and scoop it in. In doing so, it hits Ulad Mahan. Swire heading it towards Monlouis, the number 4 for Arsenal. Mayers will just see that pop out of play for a West Ham throw.
Okay, stop from there. Stop from there.
Passed all the way back to Herrick. Become fairly less end-to-end in the last 5 or so minutes, would you say, Mark? Or?
Yeah, I think we've come into the game much better into the game as a controlling force, making passes.
What a lovely pass from Herrick, just a slightly heavy touch. I mean, it was fairly firm for Ajala.
It was.
They've had to have done well to control that.
As I said earlier, talking about Finn, he has got a good range of passing. I wasn't going to say for a goalkeeper, as a goalkeeper. The goalkeeping union on my case.
I suppose the goalkeeper union now is going to be fairly different to what it was like definitely back in your day, but even just a decade ago.
Don't come back, don't come back.
Swire being unselfish again, but not the right decision.
He's been in that position 3 times now. I think just be greedy and go directly towards the goal.
Must be a hard one for players when you're just caught in 2 minds, and the pace of the way the defence can just get back on you. You barely have any time to think. That's a decent delivery, and Luizao headed it away well.
Although we have proved that we can get in there in that sort of inside left position on a few occasions. I just wish Cam was a little bit more greedy.
Well, he's had a goal and assist in his last 2 Premier League 2 games, of course. Scored against Leeds and got the assist for Ajala's goal this time last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, and there was times in that game and at the Dagenham game where he does appear to be, for little periods of the game, actually unplayable.
We love my hand. His deliveries have tested West Ham at points, although they haven't amounted to anything. He finds the ball back out to him now. Adieli not willing to go in. Just happy to stand off, and that opens up an opportunity. And another shot on goal. Salah Ulab Mahand, 4 goals and 2 assists in 8 games this season.
Showed good skill, good feet there, didn't he?
Brilliant feet.
Go on, Josh.
It's Briggs. Heavy touch, just letting him down slightly. He still has the determination to try and win it back. He strikes me as a character at this level, would you say?
He's a definite character. I think he bit off a little bit more than he could chew there, actually, trying to beat the fella for pace. Might have got been that high up the pitch, got a bit of a nosebleed. But
maybe just trying to show that he can do that Robinson role.
Maybe, and he's just finding his feet in that position. But he's not short of pace, Josh. He's not a slouch. I just sometimes a little bit of Clint Eastwood comes into play. It's not in there. That's not in the bingo. Clint Eastwood is a man knowing his limitations.
Curled in towards the number 9 and number 10 in Edwards and Salah Umahand. Nygaard well off his line. Box even. Of course, even a player, I suppose this is the thing with football as well, given how quick players are, even a player who you'd see running down the park, who would look extremely quick, doesn't feel as quick, of course, on the pitch when you're around these players who just run at lightning speeds in that 30-metre distance or less.
Yeah, and it's even about football ability. There's so many people going, oh, my cousin, he's brilliant, he scores 4 goals a week for whoever it may be, and the levels is in Division 3 over the park scoring against poor defenders. And they don't realise as it goes up the levels and you come and play for an academy team, then he doesn't get a kick at the ball. I can't understand it. It's all about levels. It's all about levels and how long you've been coached for, what you've been coaching the game. You use your natural ability. Go on, Cam, take him.
Adieli finding Swire. Back to Adieli. Now Orford helping out. Just give it away. And here comes Seb Ferdinand, leading the charge for Arsenal. He's got Edwards to his right and he just picks him out. Goes beyond Adieli, low ball in, but once again, fairly routine for Herrick. He hasn't really been asked many questions so far. Of course, he's had shots come at him, but hasn't really been required to stretch his arms just yet. But he still looked assured when he's been called into action. No, don't get me wrong.
He definitely has. I think what I've been saying about Josh Briggs, knowing his limitations, he's definitely going to pop up with the first goal for me.
Let's hope so.
He's going to make a lung busting 40-yard run, or what do you call meters now? 40 metres run, and head it in. Great ball, Lou. Go on, Ems.
Adieli with the low ball in, but once again, Braden Clark was there.
Both teams have got into Arsenal as well as us, have got into situations like that where the end product and the final ball hasn't been really what you're looking for. I mean, Lewis Orford has opened them up 4 or 5 times with some fantastic passing.
Jimmy Gower finds himself on the ground right now, just having to receive some medical attention. Basically, just after the 35th minute. Of course, Jimmy Gower, 20 years of age, 11 appearances this season, so he's a bit of an ever-present for this under-21 side. And of course, he also was part of the first team squad USA tour, so he's had some exposure around the side of the first team.
He's definitely been in the 21s for the last 18 months, for 2 years. I remember that we played Arsenal away. Start at Boreham Wood, started last season, and he was in that side. They beat us actually, first game of the season. He played in that game, definitely.
think Miles Skelly scored in that game, of course.
I think he did a bit.
Yeah.
Was it 2-0 to Arsenal?
3-0
3-0
to Arsenal. But what was it, 4 months before or so? Of course, the FA Youth Cup victory. So
that's not me mentioning that, so it doesn't count on the bingo.
I think you just taught me to mention it, or not taught me, you've indirectly taught me to mention it. It's just programmed at this rate now, Mark.
No comment.
Learned behaviour. And of course, recently, the news of favour for me and Sean Tarima departing the club. It's sad to see them go, but wish them all the best with their future endeavours.
It is, and I found out today that Favour's been signed by Stoke.
Oh,
Stoke
okay.
City have signed him, yeah. I think it's an 18-month contract, but he's definitely got a professional contract for Stoke City, so I can wish him all the best, and I hope Sean Tarina finds somewhere.
He was part of the Youth Cup victory as well.
Yeah, both was.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, wishing them all the best. It's palmed away. Orford again to send in another delivery towards that back post. Routine for Nygaard, who just jumps up to collect it. And he sees the run of the Arsenal number 11 on that far side. He's up against Sean Moore. This is promising for Arsenal. Nothing can come of it apart from a corner.
Quite strange in this day and age, but both teams have had opportunities coming from their goalkeeper. There's so much play being played inside your own box and 84 passes before you go forward. Both Finn and their keepers just gone bang, get on the end of that, and it has been successful both times.
It has. Just demonstrates the way the modern day goalkeeper is now expected to play. And they're taught it from a very young age now.
Yeah, I mean, it does make me smile when people go, "Oh no, it's a long ball game or a short ball game or whatever." And I always remember you won't remember because you weren't even born. But Bill Shankly was saying there's neither. There's the right ball game, and that's how I see football.
That's a good point.
That's how you can't just have one style.
Yeah.
You play what you see at that time. It's about football is about decision making, making as many right decisions as you can. That's what makes you a decent footballer.
Absolutely. Adapting, which falls under decision making.
Don't think I could spell adapting, so I just should do word decision making. That's to write it up on the board.
Less chance of spelling that than plethora.
Don't even know what the word means. No, I do really. I've used it. In fact,
well done. You've used. Well done.
It's funny when I'm sending ironic and sarcastic WhatsApps to people. There's another one for the bingo. I always have to ask the wife how to spell things, as she points out. But she's watching another episode of Emmerdale at the time.
Who needs autocorrect when you've got your wife to do the spell check for you? Here comes Salah Ulab Mahand. Trying to make an option is Seb Edwards. No ball in, but it almost finds Keon Edwards. This time just having to scurry it away there. Louis Zhao gets the definitive clearance.
It's a good 5 minutes for the Arsenal, unfortunately. They're sort of in a horseshoe around our box, probing. We are a tough team to break down, though.
Absolutely. I mean, your defensive record speaks for itself. We've heralded it before whilst being in the gantry. Of course, you've only conceded now 13 goals, keeping another clean sheet in the Premier League to last Friday in the 1-0 win against Stoke.
Keep David Moyes happy. That's his game.
I think Graham Potter's game could be more like an Arsenal, although he does have good defensive records and likes to adjust the team as well. He's not someone to just want to play one style. Of course, one of his best traits is being able to adapt.
I liken him to, hopefully, a modern-day John Lyall. That would do me.
Of course, the Graham Potter Ironcast is out tomorrow morning, Saturday at 10 a.m. Do tune in. on the West Ham YouTube channel to find out and learn more about the new
football,
first team
West Ham
manager.
United. That's good football.
It is good football. Potter would be pleased if it was one of his sides doing this, but here comes Ajala trying to scoop it in. Doesn't have the quality to find Orford, instead he finds Ismail Ulab-Mahand. So West Ham over the throw.
That was good football at that corner there. Good one touch passing. Just increased the tempo as we went.
Of course, it was something you raised on Tuesday about how to break down Manchester United, was to play those quick passes. And when they started doing it, they started winning.
It's exactly what we'd done with our first goal. It was Preston. Preston made a really just increased it, bang, one touch pass, and we scored our first goal from it.
Orford going into the book. Oh no, he's not. I was almost worried he could have gone into the book, and then it could have placed two midfielders, of course, in the centre, both on yellow cards.
I'm glad you're not on the VAR.
Well, I'll probably know just as much. I'd still make a controversial decision if I was, probably. Here comes Ulab-Mahand. Terrific run. Passes it to his brother Ismail. And Gower.
What's the number 10's? I know he's the brother. What's it?
Salah Ulab-Mahand.
He's quite impressive.
He is.
He made things happen. He looks a threat. He goes for it.
He was at Den Bosch last season, the Dutch side.
Was he?
Of course, him and his brother, they're not dual allegiance, but they can both play for either Morocco or Holland. It's a nice ball played out to Briggs on that right-hand side as he cuts it in. He's got Moore to his right, and he finds him carrying on his run, but Moore will feed a ball in up towards Swire, but it's headed away, and it falls back to Ulab-Mahand as he sets off a ball to Osman Kamara. And it's well dealt with by the skipper, Caelan Casey. How's Casey found, obviously, being in and around the first team? Have you been able to have many chats with him recently, Mark?
I see him yesterday, actually. I see him at Cheverley. Had a chat with him. Told me he was playing tonight. Yeah, training every day with senior men and players just improves you. You know, you might not be playing in the first team, getting 90 minutes or anything like that. Just training with seasoned professionals, quality Premier League players. It's going to make you a better player.
Absolutely. And how have you seen his game come on since the last two seasons?
Oh, the main thing with Caelan's always been he's fantastic in the air, reads the game really well. Just as a centre back, just trying to make him a bit more vocal. Just talk a little bit more, organise a bit more. It's funny we're playing Arsenal, because I did say to him, Arsenal used to have a centre half captain who played for England, who sort of made a career out of organising and talking in Tony Adams. I mean, he had more to his game than that. It's a bit unfair, but what I'm saying is he was such a good tackle, Caelan. He was such a good organiser, Tony Adams, and then I only know this because he played with Steve Potts. Was a West Ham supporter until he went to Arsenal. Tony Adams was a West Ham fan. Which all the best.
They're everywhere.
Which all the best people are. But Tony Adams' game, even according to Potsy, even when Tony Adams was 8, 9, and 10, he was a talker, a communicator, which is unusual, really an unusual thing to see. And I think I was saying to Caelan, I think that his game's really good, Caelan. If you just got that communication and that organising, would really make him stand out.
This is a good opportunity. Orford had the idea of trying to find Ajala, and there was space. Both defenders he was in between. There's a fair amount of green room.
There was, but if you look at the position of the starting position of their goalkeeper, he's very high. He's what you would call a keeper sweeper, and which is good, and he's there to sweep things up like that. But I'm going to mention the Youth Cup, I don't care. If you remember the Youth Cup, the goal that Gideon Kadua scored, he caught their keeper, I think it was our second. George Murphy got the equaliser. He got possession on about the halfway line and chipped the keeper just inside their half. And it must be a thing that Arsenal work on. Go on, Cam, get hold of it. Oh. So
there's an opportunity here. Swire He's found some dangerous opportunities. Tees up Sean Moore, but he skies it over the bar, just outside of the 6-yard box.
That's the best opportunity of the half. I keep asking Cam to be a bit selfish. That time he's made the right decision. Fantastic cross. I mean, Sean Moore's predominantly left-footed, and he's gone with his right. Quite right. He was on the stretch. In all fairness to Sean, he was on the. I'm thinking any touch and it's a goal sort of thing. Like, but Cam, it continues to cause him problem in that inside left position. I mean, you probably never heard of the inside left position, but when I was a lad, there was an inside left and inside right. But there's all sorts of Cams and mad names for him now. I don't mean Cam as a player. I mean central
the actual position.
Yeah.
Well, Cam did well there to find Moore, and that's unfortunate.
Probably the best chance of the half, I'd say that was.
Certainly. And that'll be the end of the first half. We go into the break goalless, as Sean Moore just was lunging as he tried to tap that in and find the back of the net. Arsenal have had their chances. Of course, Herrick has looked assured in between the sticks, and when called upon, he's had a safe pair of hands, hasn't parried it. He's been able to hold the ball well, to not give Arsenal another sniff at goal. But of course, going into that half-time break, just before we end, Mark, what do you think Mark Robson will be saying to his players?
I think he might go back and just remember that the last 2 league games we've had on a Friday night have both been 1-0, both been similar sort of halves to this. You know, it only takes one chance, one goal, and we've won and we're through. So he might be just reminding them of that fact. He might be reminding them of the fellow I said, the number 10, who's a danger for Arsenal.
Who'll have my hand?
Yeah, he's decent. When he gets running at us, you know, we've got to be on our mettle to stop him. I mean, there's nothing in the game, but I'm going to say I could see it being a 1-0, hopefully to us, and the game will end up being 4-3 after I've said that. So there you go.
Well, time will tell. Obviously, 0-0 at the break. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes' time for the commencement of the second half.
The sense of what being on your desert island is?
Oof, I don't know if I can even admit this, but like, I've got into Taylor Swift.
Oh no.
And my experience in football was quite fear and blamey. Football's a game of mistakes. When people talk about we've got to stop making mistakes, I think, well, you might as well stop playing football.
Yeah.
It's more important how you react to the mistakes, as I see it. It's not like, oh, you know, we can't give people candid feedback. You need to do better. No, that you can still do that. But I think the blame culture, I think that's when it starts to get a little bit, everyone's protecting themselves. You can talk about talent all you want and ability, but unless you've got a functioning team that understands what everybody's trying to do, the talent can get lost a little bit.
West Ham means everything to me. It's changed my life. Jared has been able to live his dream out. It's just an absolute joy to go and watch him play football every week.
He just wants to run through a brick wall for you. And that's infectious. Great memories.
The confidence he had with the ball, he wasn't scared of running with the ball. To do that at that standard, you have to take notice of him and think, how far can this kid go?
So this is some of the team.
How's it going, everyone?
George, photographer. Tony's our studio lead.
Hi mate, nice to meet you.
Todd on
Todd,
social.
nice to meet you.
So
Nice
these
to meet you,
guys
mate.
are a bit of a mixture
Nice to meet you.
in terms of the content that we're going to be capturing.
Yeah.
So to start with, if you don't mind, we'll just crack on.
Yeah. Works on
You've got
Great. And just turn your body slightly to the side. Yeah, and hold that there, looking into me. And then looking straight on for me. Can you get a bit more side on? A bit more side on, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you look up, then this time just look up straight towards you. Okay. Cool. Yeah, go for it. When you're ready, take it away. And 1, 2, 3. Big smile, that's it. 1, 2, 3. Lovely stuff. Yep, and then 2 for me.
And then go arms front like this, where you are now. Brilliant. Just go 2 arms. Look off to the right there for me. And then off to the left.
That's part of your left. Say that.
Cool. Evan Ferguson, welcome to West Ham. How's it feel to be a Hammer?
Yeah, no, it feels good. It's a very good feeling. Obviously, coming in here around the stadium and that today, it just shows you the glimpse of it.
And Bruno's on the staff here. I think you would have worked under him when you first joined Brighton. Is that right?
Yeah, Bruno was there as well. Yeah.
What's he like? I mean, we've heard a lot about him as a coach. You know, what is it that sets him?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like, he loves like working like 1-to-1. Like, so when you're working with him, he's all about the little details, and yeah, he'll tell you them little details if you're doing the right thing. Good morning. All right. You good?
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you. All right. Dan. Dan. Good to see you again, mate. Yeah, you bet. What's good for you? Yeah, are you all right, mate? Yeah. Alright. Good. Yeah. What's up, you good? Good to see you. Alright. Yeah, really good. You've got bigger than me. Come on. You can't smoke. I didn't look for that weight either. You know what's there? Cheers, mate. I love
lads. Feel on each side. Just back it up, lads. Back it up. And get sweeping through. 18. Good kicks then, lads. Nice big kicks across. Beautiful, nice big kicks, lads. Take your time when you get to the end, switch over and just relax. Don't start yet. Very good. Body good. Yeah, you can start. Nice, good. Now tidy through this. Really accelerate through the end, lads. Really accelerate through the end. Good, lads. Really accelerate through the end. Nice, that Taylor. There you go. Now you're there. Good. Well done, lads. There you go. Bounce, bounce. There you go. Bounce, bounce. There you go. Good. Off you go. Small jump.
So welcome back everyone, with the start of the second half almost upon us. Mark and I have been up here in the gantry. I hope you're all nice and warm wherever you're watching this. I for one am not so much, and my toes feel like they're non-existent right now. Mark, what about yourself?
Yes, it's a little bit taters, I've got to say, it's a little bit taters and my head's a bit wet. No, I'm glad, it might be one of the only occasions I'm glad I've got no hair to get wet. I'm bald, if you don't know me, I'm bald as a coot, but there you go.
You've got the hat on as well,
yeah,
which can then just sit on your nice bald head. And right, underway now, as Louis Zhao has to try and head it away. Of course, it was a fairly end-to-end start of the first half, and it looked like it could have been a dangerous Arsenal attack for just a brief moment there. No substitutions made in the half-time break. Of course, coming out in this second half, Mark, what would you say is something West Ham could improve on?
Definitely not letting the ball bounce in your own third of the pitch. That was a disgraceful start. Never let the ball bounce. Get some sort of contact on it. I think just be a little bit, I mean, the amount of times we're feeding Cam down the left-hand side, maybe capitalise the one cross he did get into the back stick, and we didn't score from into Sean Moore. Apart from that, keep feeding Cam, getting Emeka on the overlap maybe, and just I feel it might be another 1-0, hopefully to us.
Well, of course, that would make it 3 1-0 wins in a row here at Rush Green. That would be 4 wins in a row just by 1 goal. In fact, West Ham have had a bit of a habit just by winning by the 1 goal this season so far. Of course, they've won 6 out of their 8 Premier League 2 games by 1 goal. Only game that was won by more than 1 were in their first 2 games of the season, and that was against Southampton, the 5-1 win, and Brighton, the 2-0 win.
Yep, so we're a master at 1-0s. I'm glad to say I think the wind has picked up left to right, blowing south to north, which we're attacking, so that might work in our favour. It didn't appear to be very windy first half, but this is good play. This is good play.
Adiele, Swire.
This is good play. I like this.
Adiele with the reverse pass.
Ooh.
Tried hanging it towards the outside the penalty area. Well, that's where it was headed to at least. Orford trying to turn around their number 8, Ulab Mahand. Just here Marcel Washington down this left-hand side. Just been signed by Chelsea, Marcel Washington.
Sounds like a jazz. Sounds like a jazz singer.
Well, here's Swire. Looked like he could have been. There could have been some contact worthy of a penalty.
I'll never use the term he's too honest, but I think the fellow was having a nibble then. I thought, yeah, we stole possession quite well there, high up the pitch.
Well, so far it's been an honest and selfless performance from Swire, perhaps to the team's detriment at times, but they've got a corner.
I think I said this the other day. I think we put too many floaty crosses in. I'd rather just drive one across, because you know, if someone Calum, Louis Zhao, they're good at getting first contacts. That's all we need.
Line of West Ham players that suddenly spreads out. They let it bounce,
Get in.
And they've taken the lead.
Calum Casey.
And it's Caelan Casey, the skipper, that opens the scoring just moments into this second half.
I didn't mention Caelan Casey's name before. No, I can't be that. No, stop it. I think I might have mentioned him. It wasn't the way I envisaged it happening. I thought it'd be a bit of a Van Dijk sort of thing from last night, but it didn't. It fell to him with his left foot. Well done, Calum. Let's have another look at it. Just sort of stabbed at it really, but got enough contact and we're 1-0 up.
And that's Caelan Casey's first goal of the season. It's a good time to score. It's never, well, when isn't it a good time to score? But good work, right place, right time. West Ham's number 5.
I mean, you can't say it's one that was worked out in the training ground. It was just placed in there. They didn't clear it. Just went to Calum and just sort of stabbed it in. Just a little jab.
Now they come for a second. That's good defensive work from the number 6, Jimmy Gower, to dispossess Ajala. And Briggs there when it mattered to intercept that pass forward. Here's Swire. Game feeling fairly open right now, but in West Ham favour. Swire.
You're in, Sean. You're in.
Trying to play it towards Sean Moore.
Nothing on it.
The power. That's all it needed. If there was power, it would have been 2-0.
Without a doubt. Again, that was good work from Cam, and that time he was right to be unselfish and put him in. Sean just didn't have enough sort of, I don't know what. They needed a little bit more on it.
Just needs to give it a harder hit, I suppose.
Yeah, that goes in 2-0. I think I couldn't see Arsenal coming back from that. As I often say, goals change games, and let's give us a little bit of confidence. Scored a goal, we'll run up.
It was a clustered 6-yard area when, of course, Casey did get the final touch, but for a brief second I thought it was Louis Zhao who may have scored. That's a nice move from Briggs, who spots the ball as he tries to find Ajala, but instead Monlouis is there before Ajala, and then it's just struck forward by their number 5, Will Sweet.
I think Josh Briggs has done really well at right wing back, and he surprised me, if I'm honest. I mean, I just thought he was an edit and kick it centre half. No, he's done really well as a right wing back. Go on, him, you're in, son. I'll take the ball with you.
Sean Moore's there. He can't get it. There's their number 6, who's really been all around the pitch this evening, Jimmy Gower. There before Sean Moore could have another opportunity at Nygaard's goal. Now they pick it up and try to search for an equaliser. Moore just needs to get a touch to take it beyond Sweet, which he does. Ajala making that run, but once again Jimmy Gower, who I would say has probably been one of the standout players for Arsenal so far. What have you made of the Arsenal number 6 performance?
Yeah, he does a lot of unsung work as well, off the ball, filling holes, making blocks. He's done well. He's had a good game. I mean, their number 10's been the most creative player I think that Arsenal's shown, but he does a lot of stuff, as I say, blocking us off.
There's 2 central players working in harmony. Of course, you've got Jimmy Gower doing the hard yards, and then of course Salah Ulab Mahand, who's more of that technical flair player who likes to showcase his skill. Two players that are of course essential for Arsenal's success in this under-21s division, since of course Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly have made that step up to the first team and haven't really seemed out of place. They've obviously had to rely on other figures within their squad. Of course, no Skulls at the moment for West Ham. I suppose Graham Potter sees him as probably a real starter for the first team, or a player within the squad, of course, one of the main players.
Yeah, he started in Graham Potter's first game away to Villa in the Cup, and he's come on at every other game, and he doesn't look out of place, does he? Really, he's got, you know, I've said it before, he has got a left foot like a wand.
Chance for Arsenal to get this equaliser. Of course, West Ham's goal came from a corner, and Arsenal's equaliser. No, it can't. The safe hands of Finlay Herrick are there once again. He rolls it out quickly as Moore's in some green room. Orford may look to try and play it towards Moore, but instead he switches it over to Adiele.
Go him.
Moore towards that back post.
Just go at him. We're in.
He does. Swire.
Oh, Cam
strikes it just wide. Disappointing, as I can tell from your reaction there, Mark.
No, it wasn't. It was just in hindsight. I wonder if he could have hit it first time rather than need the 2 touches. And because done well, rolled it to him, hit it now. Once he's had a touch, he's let him. Was that Gower again making the block? I think it might have been. I'm not sure.
Just side footing it past the post.
Yep. I wonder if going back to Ollie's goals and Graham Potter, Graham Potter was a left back himself, so I wonder if he looks at Ollie and sees a bit of himself in him. I don't know. And that's not doing an other left back, Emerson, a disservice. He's done great for us, and I think he's a good player as well. But it's always healthy to have competition for places.
Absolutely. I mean, after that challenge from Ezra Mayers, a lot of West Ham fans were obviously wanting him to be in the setup as well. Challenge those current first team centre halves.
I mean, if we was to have Ezra and Cresswell playing, we would have a team of left backs on the pitch.
Managed by one, of course.
Exactly.
Here come Arsenal. Adiele having to do some defending. We'll have a hand. Back to Edwards.
Good decision, like that referee. As I said to you earlier, the other day on Tuesday, I was thanking everyone at the academy and saying they was part of the under-18s getting through. There was 2 groups apparently that I forgot to thank: the recruitment department of Shane, Dammy and Ross, and the education department of Jamie, John and Luke. So sorry about that, but I'm thanking you now.
Made up for it there, Mark. Hopefully they're watching so that they can take in that truly lovely moment.
Where else would they be on a Friday night? They must be.
Well, I know I'd rather be, obviously, up in this gantry. Of course, the game's been entertaining and it's certainly helped us keep warm.
Yeah, the time's flown along.
Honestly, time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're winning. As well, actually, in football, if we are looking at this, time often flies when you're losing, I feel.
Yes, you're dead right.
And when you're winning, especially in the 80th minute, it goes so slowly.
Bit of Brazilian flair there from Luke.
And how do you think Sean Moore could maybe have more of a foothold in this game? Of course, he had that golden opportunity at the end of the first half. He's been a player that's been highly rated at this youth level. How can you see his year going on, but also just improving?
It sounds a ridiculous thing to say, Sean, but he's a little bit like Haaland at Man City. Nothing like him as a player, but he does nothing. You won't see him for half hour, 35 minutes. It pops up with a goal.
Here they go, Ismail Ulab Mahand, striking it straight at one of the legs of the West Ham defenders. Passed out now towards their number 9. Ulab Mahand. Look how energetic he is, chasing the ball, trying to create something in their final third, but whilst doing that, shows a bit too much energy and takes the ball out of play with him.
I wouldn't mind Sean Moore now and again. He's a left-footed player playing on the right, which is so common these days. Everyone plays as inverted wide players. I wouldn't mind him seeing him playing actually down the left. Surprise a few people and get into the ball and cross it with their left. I mean, everyone now seems to be obsessed with, probably because of Pep. Everyone's inverted. They've got to cut in. Sometimes play them in their right, on the right side they should be.
Well, that winger is called a right-sided winger. This is a good opportunity. Herrick with a good save as he comes down low. First time Herrick's been majorly tested where he's had to make a save.
Yep, genuine chance that for Arsenal. Genuine chance. From this angle, I actually thought he'd gone past him. I wasn't sure that Finn had saved it.
Look at that. Herrick with his eyes wide open to deny Osman Kamara.
As I say, the boys who played for the 18s on Tuesday out there, now Josh Ajala, Ezra, Emeka, Robbo's keeping an eye on them, fitness-wise, if they're going to last the 90.
Osman trying to intercept that. Here he is, up against Orford. Monlouis visited out to that right-hand side. Towards Seb Edwards. Look how far out he is. Nygaard really playing like another defender at times as he sits in between the defenders.
It's an Arsenal trait. They do that a lot. The keeper comes out and plays like a keeper sweeper, as I say.
Lovely interplay. Touch from Salah Ulabahan, just letting him down and giving West Ham the ball back, but Herrick will get it up the field, and Ajala sticking his body about. That's good work from the West Ham number 9. Just showed a bit too much of it there to the number 8, Ismail Ulabahan.
He did very well there, Josh, to start with. Really got his body in the way and kept his possession high up the pitch, and then got a little bit excited.
But for a small figure, he really shows a lot of grit and determination, especially up against these other players that do possess more of a physical dominance.
He's quite wiry, I think, Josh. He's quite wiry, and you know, he may be a little bit stronger than we give him credit for.
And of course, it's that core usually that can help those players who typically look more slender, but can really go toe to toe with those that look much bigger. Player that comes to mind, of course, a player like Mohamed Salah.
He's not a bad footballer.
He's not too bad. Not too bad.
I won't say I was jumping about when they beat our local rival Spurs last night, but I did have a little smile on my face. Tottenham fans have got a reputation with West Ham fans for being, I won't say delusional, but over-optimistic, should I say.
Is that just in general or when they play you?
No, in general, they always think they're going to win something, it's going to be our year and all that sort of nonsense. I mean, it always made me laugh when the Super League was mooted about and 6 club was going to break away, and it was Man City, Manchester United, Arsenal, and then someone mentioned Spurs. It did, mate. What were you doing in there? Behave yourselves. Not that I've got anything. Not that I've got anything to do with Spurs or anything against them. Just don't like them.
Do they live in that head of yours rent free?
Nah, laugh at them.
Good.
Laugh at them. Yeah. Absolutely laugh at them.
Lead away all the way to Nygaard.
I mean, I talk about West Ham having a high line. Look where their keeper is. Look where Arsenal keepers.
I know, the confidence is astounding, really.
Yeah, but then that's not by accident. Arsenal do that a lot. They really do.
I suppose if a West Ham player was going to win it back in a threatening position, they'd have to dart all the way back. But just the way the whole team is set up, it enables the goalkeeper to be that far out and still have cover.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in all fairness to Arsenal, it's something that they definitely do. I haven't noticed Arsenal's first team doing that, but as I say, that game at the Emirates, there was a trophy involved, I won't mention. Their keeper done exactly the same thing as that. It was as high as that.
Sweet. Managed to make the bed up as they get an opportunity, but Edwards just can't keep his feet and he awkwardly slips over in such a vital position. But West Ham won't mind as Ajala tries to distribute it to Swire. Feel that was a foul, Mark?
No, wasn't a foul.
Well, the rain is continuing to pour and Ajala is currently down on the floor holding his calf.
I wonder if Josh, without even knowing it, could be fatigued from the amount of football he's played this week. Could be.
Of course, scoring that equaliser on Tuesday and then scoring one of the penalties as well. It was a calm finish into the right along the floor. But yeah, it's a big ask as well. I suppose 120 minutes played on Tuesday. Now he's gone over an hour this evening.
Yep.
That's over 3 hours worth of football.
It should be our strength and conditioning department earns their call. This is dangerous.
Perhaps shout out to the strength and conditioning department then as well if they're able to keep these players fit for 2 times of the week.
I will do it. I normally shout out to them in another capacity, but I won't mention that. Yeah, no, if they get them through this, then they're doing their job. They know far more about the physical demands of a player than I would. I'm just a football person.
Gower. Of course, in recent games, this has been Arsenal's bread and butter when they've been... No, Arsenal's, West Ham's, blimey. It's their bread and butter when they've been 1-0 up in this period. Being able to just grind out these results.
As you say, it's very similar to the Stoke, to the Sunderland. Could be watching any of those games at this minute. Very similar to the way we're banking up.
Although you feel like Arsenal could possess more of a quality than the Stoke or Sunderland, it still feels like the narrative of the game is quite similar, where West Ham are just able to defend, and as you said, a good word, in a robust way, in a stubborn way.
Yeah.
And not really allowing any opportunities when they get into the box. Of course, they did have that opportunity through Kaiden Edwards as they got into the penalty area, but he then slipped and couldn't let that chance mount to anything. Can West Ham create one here through Swire, who's had a good game this evening? He's looked smart.
Need bodies up supporting him.
Driving run up against Gower, taking it towards the byline, but he just doesn't have that final ball in him as he's pushed off balance.
We only really had Josh in the box there for him to it, with other bodies coming in behind. I mean, it looks similar to the other games. Arsenal, a bit like their first team, haven't really got a focal point down the middle. There are loads of intricate, midfielders like this fella here, and their approach play's good. They're getting to the byline. I'm going to shut up now before they equalise.
Ismail Ulabmahan to Edwards. Here's Salah. Now Gower, as he tries to play that clever pass, he was anticipating the run from Braden Edwards, the fullback, and then you can see them exchange some frustrated words together. Of course, you're talking about focal points. One of theirs, who's more of a wide player, which I suppose actually proves the point of not having that focal point, in Nathan Butler Oyedeji, 22 years old. He's been playing in the Premier League 2 this season, 7 goals and 6 assists to his name this campaign. These are obviously out of the team this evening.
Yeah, as I say, a little bit like their first team. I mean, they haven't really got a centre forward. And they might say Havertz is one, or Jesus or whatever. They haven't really got a quality number 9.
West Ham having joy through Brown. No.
Baller, go on, take it in stride. Take it in stride. Just take him on. Take a gamble.
Swire. Now Akpata looks to cleverly chip one towards Ajala. Arsenal clear it away, and now they'll try and create something in this transition. But Dan Rigg stood up down towards the touchline for a couple of minutes now as he's waiting to come on.
Looks like he's coming on for Josh Ajala to me. And Dan's not an out-and-out number 9, he's more like a number 10. A little bit like the Arsenal's number 10. He's very similar to him. So I don't know how we're going to reconfigure our makeup.
Perhaps put Swire there?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, good shout. You know the under-21's better than me. Disgraceful. Yeah, that's what they'll do. But Cam is having a lot of joy out on the left, so yeah, that's what they'll do. You're exactly right. You're getting the hang of this. You're getting the hang of this.
I know.
Getting the hang of this football game, aren't you?
Yeah. Thank goodness I've got people like you to teach me it at my age. Of course, Dan Rigg came off the bench in the last 2 games, but hasn't actually started since the Fulham game, which was at the 1st or on the 1st of November.
And just nick it.
Space for Jimmy Gower. Will Sweets to his left, but he's looking to maybe play it a bit more advanced, but his only option is Sweet. Over towards Ismail Ulabmahan. Aiming for the switch. Good header from Adieli in towards Swire, as they could have broken down that left-hand side, but it's good defending from Braden Clark. And then the foul given away by Ezra Mayers, and you can see the frustration at the referee's decision. And now on comes Dan Rigg, making his 3rd substitute appearance in a row. Final words from Mark Robson, and Ajala will be making way.
Very, very generous decision for a free kick there. Ezra was just too strong for the fella. I mean, and Ezra doesn't. He's a very level-headed level-headed player. He got really annoyed and upset, and I could see why, because it wasn't a free kick.
This would be controversial if Arsenal were to get something off this. Of course, it will be Salah Ulab Mahand. He's already got he's got 2 assists of the season in the 8 games he's played. Now he'll look for a third. Firmly wrapped around his right foot. Gower outside the area.
Good picture.
And West Ham have a chance to get something on the counter. Here's Orford sprinting.
Chip him.
Trying to get in behind as he chips Nygaard. Has a second attempt. And it's wide. Oh, Mark. What did you make of that? That was so entertaining. Arsenal caught open.
And the keeper was caught high up the pitch. And if you wanted it to be anyone, you wanted it to be Lou with his technique. He didn't really get it enough under it and just get it over the keeper. It was a great picture though, at 3 on the halfway line.
Well, please, Mark Robson, just showing how West Ham can deal with the set piece, or they showed how they could deal with it defensively, and then to turn it into a proper counter-attack, a real clear-cut opportunity, is positive. Of course, just under 20 minutes left to play. So that second goal really would have put West Ham in the driving seat. Since West Ham have scored though, Mark, what have you made of the way they've played?
I think Arsenal have had lots and lots of possession, but it's mainly been in front of us. Nothing apart from 1 or 2 opportunities. And we've run the counter. I think we're okay. We're okay, but we're always okay until the other team score.
Yeah.
Well, hey? Did that work out? I didn't think it was a free kick to anyone, but not.
Well, it's back in West Ham territory.
I think
they won't care.
I think Arsenal knew it was our free kick, so we'll give you the ball back just for fun.
Well, that's proper sportsmanship. Which you love to see.
And a ridiculous comment from me as well, really. But I don't mind a ridiculous comment here and there.
No, I don't think you do. But that strike from Sean Moore, albeit it did go off target, he had some technique behind it. You could see what he was trying to do.
Yep. That's the one coming in on his left foot. It's the one we feels comfortable.
Now Orford looking to spray one out to that left-hand side. Just too much onto that.
I think that the more we can feed Emeka though down there, with his pace and his full fight, play, really direct play, still get us in. Arsenal making a change now, bringing number 15 on, whoever he is.
Number 15, Andre Harriman Anus.
Looks like they're taking number 3 off the left back, so if they're going to have a change of shape or whatever.
Well, he's a forward, 17 years of age, 5 appearances and 1 goal. And he can play as a striker, but also a number 10. So you did say how they require that focal point. I often do find, in my slight experience, that typically players that can play the number 10 aren't really that true focal point number 9 you really require, or is...
No, you're correct. They want to go and play in the pocket. They want to get there and get into a forward facing. They're all as focal points.
Collected safely by Nygaard. But he can play there, so it's a defensive change made for an attacking change. Defensive player coming off for an attacker shortly.
I think they might be having a little bit of a gamble. If they're taking the left back on, they might go to a different system. They're bringing a forward, or maybe put someone in a deeper role. I'm not sure.
It's Phillips.
Touch it.
Nice towards Moore.
Shawnee.
Becoming quite open. Here's Marshall Washington. There's Hyden Edwards just ducked there. Now Orford. Rigg back to Orford, putting him under some pressure, but look at Nares and Orford dealing with that well there.
We could definitely do with another goal, because I just don't want us to be complacent. think the job's done.
Of course.
Good play, West Ham United.
They look to
Excellent.
try and make
That's good
it
football.
2.
That's good football.
Swire, will he
Yes,
go
he can.
alone? He will, but it's over. Herrick frustrated. You can hear him say some words of that chance.
Mark Wilson applauding there. That was great little interchange of play in the middle of the park. Really good play. The keeper got a touch, I believe.
There will be a corner. Of course, it's Caelan Casey's goal that currently separates these two. Perhaps Graham Potter will be watching on, as Caelan Casey has been within the first team. And if you want to tune in to the next episode of Ironcast, then Graham Potter is of course the host. That will be out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Orford sending a ball through that goes through the cluster of players.
Don't be offside. Don't get caught offside. Caelan, back stick.
Of course, Jared Bowen and Ironworks is out soon as well on the West Ham YouTube channel. So do like, comment and subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel. That is of course Graham Potter on Ironcast tomorrow. In the meantime, West Ham look dangerous. Rigg trying to play that second pass. It was a nice idea, more good interplay, but it was just that final ball mark.
Caelan's up there trying to get a second. Fixing centre forward. That's good. I mean, to be fair, that is one thing that Dan Rigg has really done well since he came on. He's linked the play up really well. Couple of give and goes, 1-2s here and there. Some of the football has been excellent.
Louise Owl now and try and find Josh Brown. Slightly heavy touch. He's putting a good shift in that position, hasn't he, Mark, so far?
He's putting that good a shift. He just changed his name. It's Josh Briggs, but calm down.
Well done, well done. Well done to me, I mean.
I'm only jesting, sir.
I know.
No, he's done well. He has done well. I mean, and I was one who was sort of doubting his ability to play as a right wing back. I think he's had a really good game. Really do. He's looked a threat going forward, not just defensively. He looked a threat going forward.
I suppose, do you think he's probably... Is it too early to say that perhaps he's nailed down that spot coming, well, for the rest of the season, given the fact that Junior Robinson has gone on loan?
Well, maybe he's worked out himself that it's up for grabs. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There's Marcel Washington. Ulab Mahand. Back towards Sweet. Ismail Ulab Mahand. Cut in by Sweet, opening up room in that left centre pocket. They look to try and wrap it in towards that far corner. Will go out for a goal kick.
Good decision.
You can see the frustration there from Seb Ferdinand. There is going to be another substitution. Well, no, it will be the substitution coming on. Andre Harriman Anus, who's waited a while. He had his kit out, ready to come on, and then he had to put his coat back on. I mean, I don't blame him. It would have got very cold just standing there. Imagine just doing that, standing here in the cold rain.
What number's Washington, by the way?
50. Washington is Marcel Washington, number 3. He is coming off. Just come from Chelsea, of course.
I've been asked to keep a special eye on him by Sean O'Connor, who's a scout for Arsenal. Was the bloke who actually got me into professional football. He gave me the job at Arsenal originally all them years ago, and he's still a scout at Arsenal. And he told me to keep an eye on Washington tonight and give me a report on how the lad plays.
Oh, brilliant! Well, how do you think he's played then? What do you think that report will include?
I'll keep it to myself.
Okay. Maybe you weren't really paying much attention.
No,
of course you were. You've got a great eye to detail.
Don't like us to just keep relying on, keeping them out defensively. I'd rather, I know we're looking for the counter. We think we're going to get one there, but it's a dangerous game to play.
So we're closing in on the final 10 minutes. Preston Fearon waiting in the wings to come on. There's a clever pass from Ulab Mahand. Like Pato was there. Now here's Rigg. Just to show his tricky feet, and he wins the foul. Like he was in a headlock from Braden Clark.
Looks like it's Tyrone coming off, and I won't say it's like for like, but Preston and Tyrone are very similar players in the middle of the park.
Well, Tyrone, to be fair, got booked right at the beginning of the game, so he's done very well, and he kept very composed given the fact that he was given the fact that he was cautioned that early on. Mark, what have you made of his performance?
I think he's done very well, as you say. He got booked really early on, and he's managed to still win the balls, win lots of tackles, but mainly stay on his feet, not go to ground, not put himself an offer for a second yellow card. That's a great learning curve for him in future life.
Of course, it can't always be perfect, so those little experiences, yeah, like you said, can really develop you in the way you manage a game, I suppose. Herrick. Aaron, first touch. Already he's driving forward after receiving it on the half turn. It shows a bit too much of that though to Jimmy Gower. Arsenal will try to get bodies forward. There's space on those flanks, of course. No one's really occupying Andre Harriman-Anous on this left-hand side. Lovely turn from Salah. Orford tried to stick out a leg, but the ball's just sticking to him like glue. And then he weaves a beautiful ball through, but he is in an offside position. The number 7, Seb Ferdinand.
He's a very bright player, the 10. What he actually needs is someone up in front of him as a focal point. He can play balls into him, play off of him, run beyond him. I think he's got a good future in the game, the 10, but just looking at this Arsenal team, they do need, even the fella they brought in has gone to go wide. He's not playing down the centre, so they just need a central striker. A theme through the club, I think, Arsenal this year.
What type of striker do you think it could? I don't want to say this, but do you think it could be like an Ajala? Obviously, he's had a really good season as that focal point for West Ham.
Yeah, I think. I'm not saying we've got better players than him, but definitely in the forward position, Ajala can, players you can play into and I mean.
Do you think the way football's gone as well? It feels like inverted forwards have certainly been more of a trend rather than having an out-and-out striker. Perhaps that's why it feels like they're not as common. Of course, they've always been hard to get, but they're not as common as the classic inverted winger, or I suppose that number 10 position that so many players like to play in, like this man here.
Talking of which, yes and no. If you look at Liverpool, don't really play. I mean, Salah tends to pull off to the right and come back on with his left foot. I mean, Haaland speaks for himself. Who else have we got as, I'd say, absolute strikers in the Premier League? I mean, how about the fellow who's gone to Forest?
Chris Wood.
Unbelievable. He's an old archetype centre forward, and he ain't doing too bad, is he? I mean, sometimes fashions in the game and systems in the game, let's do this. No, let's just try and pass the ball to someone in the same colour shirt as us, get it into the box and we score. That's not a bad idea, is it?
It's not so simple. Well, yeah, it sounds so simple.
Yeah.
But not so at the same time.
And that's why I think the first thing, when Jared Bowen was injured, we did miss him. He holds the ball up really well for us. Really does. When you think about it, we have been unlucky when you think we had Jared Bowen, we had Somerville, we had Falkman, we had all our forward players all injured at the same time. We was playing with Paqueta as a centre forward,
and Carlos Soler, he was playing like an attacking player
who did show remarkable pace against. I think it was when he went past England's right back, James. Go on, Lou.
Brilliant challenge from Luizao. Ending up being a pass and an even nicer backheel from Adiele, smooth as you like. As they try to play it in behind, Swire sprinting up against Monlouis, and he gets the better. You can hear the players shouting to show they're available. Sean Moore darting in the box, but that was good defending from Will Sweet. And now there's some room for the winger, Osman Kamara. He's got the substitute Harriman-Anous just around him. There is Harriman-Anous. Jimmy Gower, he'll fancy one from distance, straight into the body of Louis Zhao, calls for a handball. Surely not right, Mark?
No, in a million years.
Here's Fearon.
Embarrassed for the fellow asking for it.
Good work there from Fearon to hold it up and then keep it and play it out towards that left. Here come Arsenal. Low ball played in, still alive. Arsenal looking like they could have had an opportunity through Caden Edwards. And of course their number 11, Osman Kamara. Ismail Ulabmahand.
Yeah, we're sitting too deep. We're sitting too deep. We've got to squeeze. We've got to squeeze.
Pass from Kamara ended up finding its man.
Slide Cam in. Slide Cam in. Oh, what a gone Cam.
Here's Orford, who's showing his pace so far, but that's a good challenge from Sweet, who dealt with it well. He read the danger and knew what he had to do to dispossess Orford. So far he's got himself into 2 attacking positions after Arsenal have had lots of bodies committed forward.
Yeah, Lou's a good boxer. He's got a great engine. He'll run all day. Got to put more pressure on the ball. We've got to put more pressure on the ball. It's too easy.
Arsenal just teasing with West Ham at the moment, flirting with the ball around the penalty area and in their final third. Here's Salah Ulabmahand, who's fancied himself today. He fancies the switch there to Clark. Wrapped in, that's a good delivery. But Orford there with a decisive interception. Salah Ulabmahand twists and turns but gives the ball away. But actually, that was a smart block from Orford as he used one of his feet to just dispossess the Arsenal player.
Go on, Cam,
now it's turned out to be a counter.
Oh.
So just held up there by Zayn Monloui. Taking it to the corner flag. Is it that time?
Might have gone a tad early.
Well, we're approaching the 88th minute now.
Oh no, maybe right then. I thought it was, when you're nice and warm and snug up here, time flies.
Absolutely, my feet nice and dry. Referee just calling for the throw-in to be taken at a different position. But I believe that's further up the field for West Ham, so not too bad.
I can't wait to get home, put my feet up, a cup of tea and a crunchy.
Oh, crunchy.
Got to be a crunchy.
I'm more of a Yorkie kind of guy.
You're a lorry driver. Yeah, well one back, well one back. Keep it moving.
Warford, good. Standing up well. Just shielding the ball as here's the goal scorer Casey, feeding it over towards Moore. He's got close to goal on 2 occasions.
Oh, I thought Josh was just going to just whip one in there.
Orford.
Good retention, Lou. Keep it, keep it, keep it.
Slight shove, Arsenal win it back, but that's a poor delivery as Briggs is there to intercept, but it falls kindly towards one of the engines for Arsenal in Jimmy Gower, who then spots the run of Salah Ulabmahand, using his head nicely to just bring it down on his right. He'll fire it towards Herrick, and once again the safe hands are down there to deny Arsenal.
I think you're right in Gower. I think Gower's been, although I picked the number 10 out, he's had a really good game, Gower, really has. Both in and out of possessions, worked hard when they haven't got it. He's created stuff when they have. He's a decent footballer. Bit like his dad.
Another person you knew in the footballing world.
I think his dad, and he definitely ended up at Southend, but I think he started up the other mob who got beat last night, 4-0. I think he was there as a young boy. I think he played for them.
They who shall not be named.
Oh, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. losing semi-finalist.
Salah Ulab Mahan, who feels like he's seen the majority of the ball out of the Arsenal players this evening. There's Will Sweet. Either trying to make a run towards that right-hand side. It will be 2 minutes added on. Just 2 minutes for Arsenal to try and get an equaliser, but with offsides like that, it looks like it's going to be another win for West Ham. Don't speak too soon, but they are really becoming experts in winning by 1 goal. As mentioned earlier, have won 6 out of their last 8 Premier League 2 games by just 1 goal.
It's not a bad habit to have.
No, if you're winning, you're winning. It doesn't matter how.
And you asked me earlier about Finn in goal. I'm not saying it's down to him that we've kept a clean sheet in all those games, but it's not a bad habit to have. And if you talk about the professional game, lots of goalkeepers get bonuses for clean sheets. I'm not saying Finn should, by the way, Mr. Sullivan. I'm just saying that he has kept a clean sheet.
Is it a big year for him as an 18-year-old, or can you see him staying at West Ham and plying his trade in the academy? Or do you think he may want to seek senior football?
I think as a goalkeeper you don't really mature till you're 23, 24. I mean, he regularly plays in goal for England, so he's got all that sort of, he hasn't got to move clubs for that. No, I think he's been at West Ham since he was 6. Why would he want to, hopefully we'd all like to see him at the London Stadium one day as West Ham's goalkeeper. He's been the number 3 a couple of times this year.
Well, an opportunity, a late opportunity. It can't amount to anything.
2 minutes is one of the least I've seen as an add-on time thing.
Absolutely, especially when there's been a goal in at half.
Yeah.
Typically you'd see that with a 0-0 with a few substitutions, but West Ham won't care, as Orford will scurry it away. Swire will chase. So as things stand, West Ham going up to 4th in the Premier League 2. Brighton currently a goal down. So now West Ham and Brighton have the joint best defence in the league, and that's how it will end. West Ham, for another game, win by just 1 goal, thanks to their skipper, Caelan Casey, as he tapped home following a corner kick early on in the second half. Arsenal didn't have enough to try and get back in it. West Ham, another resolute, stubborn defensive display. Mark Phillips, your thoughts?
Again, it's a lovely habit to have, consistently winning 1-0 in the league. It's really good. Shows what a good solid back 4 we have. And I think on actual clear-cut chances created, we deserve to win the game. I think we deserve. We've shaded it. I think the possession stakes might go in Arsenal's favour, and I think Arsenal have got potentially the number 10 and the number 6. I think they did really well for the Arsenal, but I think about we just don't have. The Arsenal want to be careful they don't slip out of the playoff positions. I don't know where that leaves them now, but that's where everyone wants to be at the end of the season. But I think we've done enough to win, and a nice symmetrical 1-0, which is good. I think they used to have a little song, didn't they? 1-0 to the Arsenal. We'll reverse that.
1-0 to the Irons.
Exactly.
I made it for you. There you go. Well, Arsenal, they're down on 13th now, 19 points still. So they are now still 4 points away from Nottingham Forest, who are in 17th. But as for West Ham, they don't have to worry about whether they get into the playoffs right now, as they are currently 11 points into the playoffs. So they're really getting back into their groove. Of course, they started the season off really well. Then matters started to turn a little bit worrying with 7 defeats in a row. But ever since then, Mark, since that's come to an end, we're really starting to see this Hammer side back in full flow. We
really have, and really well organised, and that goes from Finn into the back three, into the holding midfield players, even right from the top, because defending starts as soon as you haven't got possession of the ball. It's not just the defenders that defend. So as a team, you know, even the front men, we are a real hard barrier to break down.
Absolutely. And the defender being the attacker in this case, you can see the rain just swerving off the ball as Orford played it in, but there was Caelan Casey. Mark, just take us through this goal, please.
I mean, I kept saying for the corner to be whipped more than floated. We whipped it in an area. It's come off an Arsenal arm there by the looks of things, and Caelan will tell you what a good striker he is. He just had a little prod at it, and there you go. I won't say thanks for coming because that's on the bingo. Thanks for coming. So well,
you've said it already. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. You've been joined by Ollie Ordis, of course, with the legendary Mark Phillips. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Of course, do not forget to subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel for the Jared Bowen Ironworks documentary, and as well tomorrow the Graham Potter podcast on Ironcast. So that's to look forward to. We'll be back here in Rush Green next Friday at the same kickoff time for West Ham versus Blackburn Rovers. But as for now, the under-21s can go into the weekend happy. We can now go home and get warm, Mark. It ends here. West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0.
No.